think about their crime problem and immigration?
The city of New York has a homicide rate much lower than Washington's, and it's actually going down.
So that's what is that what the mayor says? Is that what the governor says? Is that what the people say?
The mayor made some warnings about a year ago that have not turned out to be correct about crime or disorder in the city.
So I'm mistaken that the governor and the mayor said that immigration was a problem and that they are seeking desperate help from the federal government because they've exceeded their ability to take care of not just the immigrants, but the criminal problem that they have. So I'm wrong.
About a year ago, 2 years ago, they had a lot of people coming from Venezuela who did not have a lot of contacts and people that they could stay with in the United States. And they were at first a burden on the system. They are not anymore, and their numbers are way down.
So thank you for your testimony. Mr. Clem, Mr. Camerata, I've been told, no, it's not a problem in New York, not a problem in New York City. I'm wrong, Mr. Clem?
I wouldn't say you're wrong because we've seen the facts that we've had illegal immigrants that have been caught and released and transferred to New York City committing crimes. I would also say you're not wrong because the mayor of New York City sent his team down to places like Del Rio, Texas, and Yuma, Arizona to see firsthand what was happening back in 2022. They obviously knew something was going on and were concerned for their constituents in their respective cities. So, yeah, you're not wrong.
There's certainly been high-profile crimes committed by illegal immigrants. And I've written on this question of the background rate of crime rates for immigrants and the U.S.-born. It turns out the data is not very good. But let me just say this. Keep in mind the policy. Sanctuary cities, as a matter of policy, release people who've been arrested and are in jail. The one group of immigrants we know has a high crime rate are people who get arrested and are in jail. And when the ICE asks them to hold that person, they, as a matter of policy, often release. That's what a sanctuary city often does. That is extraordinarily foolish, even if you think that illegal immigrants, on balance, have a somewhat lower crime rate than other groups. Releasing people who get arrested is very foolish when ICE is willing to take them. And that's what these cities do.
Well, I'm willing to go before the House of Representatives on the floor and admit that I am wrong, that the mayor of New York City does not believe that, nor has over the last 10 weeks. I'm willing to go to the floor of the House of Representatives and admit that I was wrong, that the governor of New York encourages this, and that it's not a problem to the state of New York. That is not what I thought. And so, Mr. Isaacson, I'll just apologize to you right now. You've told me I'm wrong. You've told me that the state of New York and the city of New York is perfectly safe, that the crime rates are lower.
I didn't say they're perfectly safe.
Yes, sir, you did, because I gave you a chance to, and you told me it's lower today and that the immigrants have very little are a very little part of that.
I stand by that.
I'm going to admit I'm sorry. I am sorry that I have thought this, and I'm sorry. So I'm going to go and check the facts, but I'm going to admit to you that it's not what I thought. That I thought, just like in Philadelphia and a lot of other places, that the crime in Chicago, the crime as it relates to these Venezuelan gangs, is a real problem in criminal, to police officers, to cities, to the people of the city of Chicago. And I will tell you, I will apologize to you right now that you have corrected me as a professional witness giving testimony.
Look at the most recent data.
That you raised your hand. I didn't raise my hand. You did, and said you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And I did.
So I know you did. I watched. So I will apologize right now to you. I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to double check the facts. And I appreciate the gentleman very much.
Can I ask you to not pick anecdotal data and look at the most recent numbers? Of course, you're going to find evidence that migrants are committing crimes. But what's the rate?
Recent data. I ask about what the city of New York, the mayor, was saying. I ask what the
in 2024, the second half of 2024, you won't find as much on the record.
I didn't say the second half. I didn't.
You said what he's saying. That's current, presently, now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go check it.
What he said in 2022 is something else.
Sir, I'm going to tell you I apologize because it is not what I thought at all, and I will be glad to go check that. And, Mr. Chairman, I want to yield back my time.
Thank you.
I'd like to also request, Mr. Chair, unanimous consent to enter 2 articles into the record. The first is an article entitled, "Immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than U.S.-born Americans, studies find." This was dated March 8th, 2024, from NPR. The second is an op-ed entitled, "Many Americans believe migrants bring fentanyl across the border. That's wrong and dangerous," end quote. That's from the LA Times, dated February 12th, 2024. Thank you.
Without objection. Andy Biggs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's get to this thing. The Muslim ban that was mentioned. What countries were involved in the Muslim ban?